recap of the last time we were chatting. You got decided to pay Bosco off, even as his tavern burned down behind him. Unfortunately, you weren't able to snag the captain. He had a cape that allowed him to dimension door, and he got away. But you did sink his ship, so that ship is gone.
We
And
sank his battleship.
And a lot of pirates are dead. So it's he will most likely think twice before messing with you guys. Or he'll come back with a huge vengeance. One or the other.
Time will tell.
Exactly.
Your dread ambusher.
But eventually you sailed to the closest location that you could get to the mines. Started walking inland and have become ambushed or nearly ambushed by giant scorpions. You're able to spot them before they could come up out of the ground, and as a result, you know exactly where all of them are. However, one of them is quite fast and immediately sets upon Asteria.
Okay, yeah. I was like, wait, Erdogan should be first.
Wait, I didn't roll for initiative yet.
You didn't?
Oh, we did.
Did I? I don't see me on there.
1.11.
Yeah.
Oh, am I?
You're
Oh,
all the
there
way
I
at
am.
the
I'm just
bottom.
all the way at the bottom. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
It kind of goes to figure. You usually are. No offense, dude.
Yeah.
So the scorpion immediately starts claw, and sting at Asteria.
Nope, none of those hit.
And so deftly maneuvers away from it. Done. You're up.
Oh, buddy.
Use my bonus action to cast Zephyr Strike so that I can move away from it and not take a attack of opportunity.
All I can think of is whenever anybody says Zephyr Strike, Falcon Punch comes to mind.
Then I'll back up to about there, and I will target.
Hold. Can hold.
That one for 3
Alright.
shots because of Dread Ambusher.
Nice.
Just go ahead and click it 3 times. And then you also do an extra 1d8 because of the extra attack. It takes an extra 1d8.
23, 30. That's 30 points of damage from 3
And
arrows slamming into it, plus
it takes
another
an extra
6.
d8.
Alrighty.
And that'll be my turn.
So this thing is already starting to look a bit like a porcupine. Hysteria, you're up.
Okay. He is going to. I back away from this one without taking an attack of opportunity.
If you use the disengage, yes.
Nah. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna come this way though. Nope, not that way. And I'm gonna take a guiding bolt attack at this one, this big ugly fucking
Alright,
thing.
so it gets its attack of opportunity against you.
That one hits.
Mm-hmm. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution, there we go. No.
Alright, so you take the full 30 points of damage.
It's fine. We'll be down to.
It kind of stabs you directly in the chest as you quickly move away from it.
Guiding bolt. Fucking 3rd level. This thing. Yeah. Then bonus action, Bardic Inspiration to run. That's my turn.
Alrighty. Next giant scorpion, click, clack, clack, click, goes after Divot. Imagine that second one hits.
Hold on 1 second. The second
I mean,
one does.
Sorry, I meant the third one. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the second one hits too.
Yep, my AC is 13.
All right. So you are grappled. I believe that means that it gets advantage on its third attack. Then, if memory serves, which means it hit its critical. Let me pull up.
That's not good.
Yeah.
What?
So roll a Constitution saving throw. No, sorry. Good news. Grappled does not give an advantage against you. It just keeps you from moving.
Okay.
I think it's restrained.
Yeah, but it specifies grapple on there. It's like I don't always understand what the difference between grapple and restrain is. It's like, how does it not get advantage still? So that means you only take roll your con save, please.
It's a 21.
Okay, so that means you take 4 points of piercing and 8 points of poison.
So, okay.
It's poison.
All right.
See if my stop that. Here we go.
Jasper, you're up.
All right.
Let's go over here. Where are you? Poison spray. No. Sword limits.
What is these? You made a post that in the chat. I was trying to look at it, but
Cold
that's not
fire,
good.
lightning. Aw, darn. Wait, do I have
Okay.
anything
I'm gonna
else that will
step
give me
this
poison?
way. I can see past Michael, and I'm gonna blight this one at the bottom.
All right.
So it has to make a con save, I think. Con save.
All right. It failed on that and starts. The skin crackles and bubbles as the necrosis takes hold of it. Most of the shell seems to be compromised, but it's still moving, thrashing about. Anything else, Jasper?
I don't think I have any bonus actions for Jasper, so nope, that'll be my turn.
All right. And as it's thrashing about, it heads right for Michael.
Yeah. Darn.
I'm gonna silvery barbs on that second one.
Do I need to roll a con save?
The silvery barbs made it disadvantage, so no.
Ah, nice. Woohoo! I will live.
Oh no, wait. Your AC is 11.
Let me look. AC.
I was silvery barbing the second one.
Yeah, because the third one it wouldn't make any difference.
Yeah.
If your AC is less than 12, then yes, you need to roll con save.
Darn. Yeah, it is. It's 11.
And I'll give that advantage to Dovit.
Alright, so 1 second. There we go. Constitution. No, that's not what I wanted. Come on, there we go. Wow.
That's bad.
Even
Fine.
with
You
a
take-
4.
you
Even with a
take-
+4. Come
you
on.
take 33 points of damage.
That's lame. So that leaves me with 54 points of health. Great.
Run. You're up.
Okay, what to do? Because there are two that,
You see
I
that
can
this
get-
one's glowing.
yep, and there's two that I can get sneak attack damage on because there's a ally within 5 feet.
Can't use
This
fireball.
one's would
if
be
I'm-
considered half cover from where you're currently standing because there's a tree in the way.
Let's go ahead and see what we can do with the easy target. As he releases
You did Zephyr Strike.
a mighty
Should have had advantage on that.
icy bolt. So, that one,
Deal an extra. Eight.
crossbow.
You rolled a d8 for your
Which one are you
damage.
aiming at?
The glowing one, so I should have advantage.
Yes, which means you get the 23, which means that hits. That is 22 points of damage. See great big cracks in this thing's carapace, radiating away from where where the crossbow is now lodged in it.
And then
So much.
for his bonus, he is going to vanish.
Hey Grizz, we actually just realized that the one that Erdon hit, that Dovet's next to, should have taken an extra d8 damage from a Zephyr Strike. It took the 1d8 extra for the Dread Ambusher. It should have taken a d8 for the Zephyr Strike too.
All right, roll it.
Sorry, I'm still half asleep.
That's okay. It's still alive. So it doesn't really make too much of a difference for what happened to Dovet.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay. So, speaking of Dovet, it's now Dovet's turn.
Dovid is going to rage.
You're currently grasping the claw of a giant scorpion.
Release the Hulk.
I'm pissed about it.
And I am going to attack the scorpion that is holding me with Reckless.
All right.
Reckless attack. That is let's see, that's a 14 plus 10, so 24,
That hits.
right? D10 plus 10. That is 14 damage.
All right, and that thing cracks apart and drops you on the ground.
All right, do I have my movement back?
Yes.
I am going to run over to this scorpion right here and use my extra attack.
All right.
That is a 21 to hit,
That hits.
and that is 17 damage.
And another one cracked apart. Anything else?
That is all.
All right, Michael, you're up.
Well, okay, that can't do any close range attacks on that because it's dead.
Any spell that has a ranged attack, though, like if you have to roll for it, it'll have advantage.
Gotcha. So I'll have to attack this one then. So, what am I gonna use? Is there anybody? If I use lightning bolt, is there anybody that will be affected by that?
Depends on the spell. I mean, it depends on what the effect. If it's standard lightning bolt, there's nobody else on the line there.
Okay, that's what I was asking. So I will use lightning bolt because Wait, that was not what I wanted. Oh wait, I did it wrong. My bad. Let's see, spell slots. I have 2 at level 4. Let's do level 4 attack. Why not? There we go.
Alright. And that one dies,
There.
leaving all of the scorpions dead.
Yay! Woohoo!
The gnome seemingly come out of nowhere as pulls the hood off his elven cloak. That was a bit interesting.
Yep.
Everyone all right?
Giggity.
Onward to our next destination.
Alright.
I guess we're going to the mine.
Yep.
And they call it a mine.
And I forgot that Hugh was with you because he's showing you the way to the mine. But I
Yeah.
guess he just hid behind a tree.
Are we gonna take the time to try and heal up a little bit?
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Take
So
a
the
short
camp-
rest.
And Hugh looks at you all. Well, I'm not most impressed. Ugh, terrible with accents tonight. Most impressed that you guys managed to take care of all that. Hopefully you'll be able to do the same in the mine with the dragon and anything that might have decided to side with it rather than, well, he kind of shrugs. There's no telling.
I definitely have a plan. So
Dovet's kind of dumbfounded at the guys like, you're impressed that we took care of some scorpions, but you're expecting us to fight a dragon?
Knowing something intellectually and actually seeing how quickly you took care of the scorpions are two different things.
We're relatively easy, so.
That gets me back up to full. Jasper's not down any. Off. No. Was late that I did.
So are we doing a long rest or a short rest?
Short.
So what do I need to roll?
Your hit dice.
Heal up.
Hit dice. I forgot how I do that. It's been a little bit.
There should be like the hit. You just click on the hit dice and it should.
Oh, right there. I see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
My shit right.
B.
8. That's gonna be 62. Yay.
Yeah.
That was. Man, my rolls are just not good tonight.
I have a D10. Wait, no, I think you actually have a D8, but it's showing D10 because it's a fighter.
Would you?
Should have
Use the
activated
Grizz?
Steel Defender. He would have
Okay.
given me a little bit of a shield and a little extra help there, but oh well.
hey, Grizz.
Yep.
Quick question. The cannon that was pilfered by Run, what size of a cannon would that
You
be?
have a D10.
I honestly don't know sizes when it comes to cannons. Whatever fits on a boat but can also take up the volume of a portable hull.
All right, probably say a small cannon then. Small or medium. I was just looking up stats was all. I just wanted to make sure I found the right one. It might come in handy.
Did you not leave it on your ship?
No, it's in a portable hole.
Okay, I was just asking because that means your portable hull can't be used to store anything else.
No, it
I
cannot.
figured you were going to empty it out so that you could fit treasure in there.
Well,
Or
he
just
still
mount
has
it
his
to
bag
David's
of
back.
holding as well.
I guess this is true. All right, so short
I mean,
rest.
remember what his occupation is.
Well, this is true. So after your short rest, you continue onward, eventually making it to the entrance of the Wormhat mine as the evening falls.
Hysteria will cast Death Ward on.
Are we going straight to it?
We didn't recover any spell slots, right, in that short rest?
Not unless your class or class states it. So no.
Not unless you're a monk or a warlock. Or
Gotcha.
a wizard that
Wizard.
has
Yeah,
Arcane Recovery.
Let's see. Do I have Arcane
Does it take
Recovery?
long? Yes. And I can cast-
Doesn't look like it.
Nope. Run.
Oh wait, no, I take that back. I do have Arcane Recovery.
Nice. Run.
Sweet.
You get
Okay,
Death
I get that
Ward.
Yay! I get my spell slot back, so I don't have to worry about taking it out.
Michael will take Death Ward.
Do what?
You have Death Ward.
Death Ward? Oh, nice. Thank you.
And I'll give the other one to Ardon.
Yep, there's my Arcane Recovery.
All right. So who kind of like takes a look at the entrance and says, "Well, here we are. We've gotten to the mines. Hopefully, we'll be able to take care of that dragon." So what you see in front of you, as you're looking towards the entrance of the mine, you see that there's an ore cart that is still sitting on tracks at the entrance, held in place by block under the wheels. There's a bit of weather damage to it, and showing that it probably hasn't moved in some time, possibly in the last 3 years, since the mine was abandoned by the kobolds. Sorry, by the dwarves. Or at least by Hugh, because seemingly he was the only survivor of the dwarves. What would you like to do?
Did we go straight at it, or we try to scout some?
Kind of just here to deal with the dragon. I think we can handle anything else. I don't think anything else is going to be. That is a fucking dragon.
Yeah. I would say maybe scout around, see if there's anything we can find to give us a little bit of advantage, maybe.
Well, I could always do the scouting.
just meant peek in on the entrance a little bit and just kind of see. Like,
Uh, I promise I will not engage.
Son, please do not go too far. And if you think you've gone too far, then don't go farther. Just come back.
He reaches into his bag of holding and pulls out a couple of stones. Here, Jasper. And he hands you one of the sending stones.
All right, I'll take it.
You know, just in case. So,
Just in
The
case.
word if things go wrong is oops.
Yeah. Oops.
and he will put his put the hood up on his cloak with a 31.
Nice.
Thank God you got that advantage because I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
All the reason he got it.
start sneaking into the
Alrighty.
cave and a cannon falls out of your pocket.
Now that would be something.
Nope, I'm just happy to see ya.
Oh,
The balls on this one.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so he will start to make his way in. Skirting around the minecart there. Making his way. All right. And he takes note of the this area right here now. While I'm doing this, I'm also going to be investigating for traps or signs of life.
Hey, Run.
Basic.
Run.
Uh-huh.
Why is there so much noise
Yes.
in your background? It's very difficult to hear you.
I don't know. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Sounds like a like TV show or something.
Yeah, my ADHD is really acting up because I'm having a very hard time. Every little noise and music and is from people's microphones is right now really causing me to have a hard time. So my brain just wants to focus on on those noises rather than people talking.
dude,
That's
don't
understandable.
just be happy you don't have the group that I have on Tuesday because these motherfuckers are always just like, hey, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this, and I'm like, one at a time.
Okay, is that any better?
Yeah, thanks. No longer getting distracted by music in the background. What were you saying, Ren?
Okay. That was my TV. I'll be investigating for traps or signs of life. Or
All right. Roll your investigation then.
and of course he'll have his magic side up.
All right. You see nothing in your area. But give me a perception check as well. Like, you're looking around for traps, and you definitely don't find any of those. You don't find any tracks, you don't find
Jesus
anything.
Oh my
Christ.
God, buddy.
gosh.
And
All right.
you hear nothing but a slight ringing in your ears, as if maybe you've been too close to certain noises recently, and it's made you very difficult to hear anything, and that could also be affecting your visual perception.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
We're.
Your
Oh,
senses
hold
are
on a s-
compromised.
Hold on. No, by now it'd probably worn off, so never mind. I was about to use Bardic Inspiration, but
That last 10
That's
minutes, and
been-
it's been a couple of hours.
exactly. Well, I am switching to manual dice. Anyways,
I don't blame you. The digital dice are not with us tonight. I'm halfway
Force is
tempted to
not
do the same
strong
thing.
with this one. All right.
Exactly.
But he does take note that there
Where
is
did
a
my dice go?
cavern here, and that there are 2 tracks that goes around either side.
And there are a few torches, so that's not it's not too dark in here either. But that's about it from what you're detecting. You're not picking up on anything else because, well, there's a weird ringing in your ears.
All right. So he will make his way back
Please
out.
don't get eaten.
I couldn't tell if there was any uh, signs of life, but there is a cavern as you go about.
I could have told you that, says Hugh, just kind of staring at you. This was mine. There's a bunch of shafts. There's several chambers. If you go to the ones towards the western side, you'll probably find old sleeping quarters. If you follow the tracks downward, you're likely to find more recent mining excavations, and I wouldn't be surprised if that dragon has been camping down there.
Do we want to try to just take the tracks then?
No. Could be down at the bottom. Maybe we should just work our way down. We might lose
All
our
aboard!
surprise, but
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I just want to get in, deal with this dragon, and get out.
I
Wonder
just
if
don't
it's
want to be
immune to
attacked from
fireballs.
above.
Yeah. Could just. No, we don't want to do that. Never mind. Alright.
Let's follow the tracks down, and we'll just survey everything as we go. If we just deem anything a threat, we can deal with that before we go down.
Sounds like a plan to me.
We all try to like smush ourselves into one of these fucking carts.
They were
it'd
sadly
be,
designed for ore, for ore and rocks and whatnot. You find that maybe 1 or 2 of the average sized humanoids might be able to fit in there, but they'd be squished up. 2 of the smaller humanoids could probably fit in there comfortably. But you might only be able to fit 1 of Dovit.
Then there is only one of it.
Exactly.
We just walk the tracks down.
Guess we could do that.
What if people got in the cart and Dover pushed?
You would still have a similar problem. You can only fit so many people in there.
Yeah.
I'd say we just
You
walk
have
it.
4 average sized people, then you have a dwarf, and you have Run.
Yeah, we could just try to walk the tracks.
Plus, the cart that's been left outside is, it's been out there taking in the elements for a while, so it probably won't push very well. And even if it does, it is very likely to go squeak the whole time. It'd be very noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Donkey Konging our way down there in a mine cart probably wouldn't be a good idea.
So, would you like to take the lead, or would you like me?
Well, I could always take the lead. Keep an eye out for traps, or in case something pops up.
So how much light is in this place?
Well, from what I could tell, there's at least a few torches.
I've got a spell that I can throw out to give us a little bit more light if we need it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. I can always use light on my staff too to give a 20-foot radius of dim light. Or yeah.
Yeah, if we need to see
Oh
a
no,
little bit
regular
farther
light for
ahead.
20 feet. Yeah.
Need to see a little bit farther ahead, then I can do dancing lights and the little orbs forward.
Sounds good. Yeah, I can see 20 feet around with regular bright light and then dim light for an additional 20 feet. So get to see a good amount.
If Run's taking the lead down, then I will bring up the rear. Then
What is our marching order here?
Area is
And
going to stay in the middle. Jasper can be behind Run.
Which tracks are we
I'll go
walking
next.
down?
guess to the left.
All
We
right.
can put our little dwarf friend in the middle behind Michael.
Sounds
Keep
good.
going.
Keep going, yeah.
So, Run. He will be stealthing as usual. So, let's see. That would be the 20. That would be a 29 on stealth. And of course, keep an eye out for traps and whatnot.
Oh, buddy.
So that would be investigation, I believe, with a investigation 18 on investigation.
Better than the roll that you were getting a while ago.
Yeah.
What'd you say your stealth was?
What's that?
29.
What'd you say your stealth was?
29.
It
I
might as
rolled
well.
I rolled a
Oh.
17 and I got a 12 on stealth.
Yeah, you still might want to like type that out so that I can reference it by looking, because I forget numbers immediately almost.
Gotcha.
The fucking same for both of them.
I should do stealth as well.
Oh my god. This. Okay, that one rolled a 15. Something glitched.
Right?
I was about to say.
Well,
who
here's
you
the
trying
thing
to
though.
persuade?
You did not roll the same number for each of them. The result was simply the same. You rolled a 10.
I know, but
you rolled
still.
a 2, and you rolled a 7.
I think I'm gonna use invisibility. Because why not? If we're gonna be stealthing, better to do it the right way. Do it at the...
Run would, but he also needs to conserve spells.
Yeah, I have... I'll do it at... Let's see, if I do it at second level... How many slots do I have? 3... Well, I have the same amount for level 3 and level 2, so I'll just do level 3 invisibility and just use one slot, so we'll... Wait, what?
And is
Really?
that little symbol on your token for
Oh, there we go.
Death Ward, or is that because you're stealthing?
That's stealth.
Those are stealth symbols.
Those who have Death Ward, please just go ahead and put it on your token. That way we don't forget who has it. If we don't get to the dragon this time.
Where do I find that?
If you click on your
Uh,
token, it'll be like a little like circle kind of icon that pops up, like right under
Oh.
where you clicked. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can just
And then
use
there'll
any
be
of
like a
those,
skull on there.
like that one.
like the ones on Erdon's.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Wait, so I'm invisible now, right? Yeah. Or did that just give the explanation of invisibility?
You are
We
invisible. That's why
Okay.
that's why I put the indicator on your token.
Oh, nice. Thank you. So I have it for an hour.
All right, and I guess onward we go.
Onwards and upwards.
That's good to me.
Oh, not upwards. We're going
Also-
down.
Also, just as a note, Erdon took up the rear so he can keep an eye out for anybody that may have noticed us at any point. Somebody trying to sneak up on us. So, would you like me to roll anything?
That'll just be perception, but considering how noisy the dwarf is, it might be a moot point.
Also, before we come
And
face
if you
to
notice
face
that
with the
somebody's
dragon,
sneaking up behind us.
before we come face to face with the dragon, David has 3 potions of fire resistance to give to those who need it. So
Are you-
who all?
Are you passing them out now, or are you keeping?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it might be too late to pass it out if we were to run into the dragon sooner than we expected.
It's true.
So who all needs them?
Um,
Mm,
Do have a
Oh.
little lower hit points than some, I think. But hopefully, I might be able to stay kind of away from it.
Run's a little squishy when it comes to fire.
I do have absorb elements as a reactions, so
And Jasper and Asteria both have healing on their own, so I'll pass
Yeah,
up on those.
So Ren needs it, and who else?
Done.
Yeah.
oh man, if I remembered I would recover my spell slots, or knew that, I would have used Cure Wounds on myself on the highest level that I could do,
Give your-
which is the 4th level.
Give your spell slots, use your hit dice.
Well, I mean, during a short rest, I would have recovered those.
Yeah. You
So
can
that's why I was
recover
like,
your highest level spell slot?
well, which is 4. 4 is my
Okay.
highest level right now, so I can recover that one at least.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What kind of healing potion is that, Dovin?
Potion of fire resistance.
Potion of fire
It
resistance.
and it lasts for an hour after you drink it.
I had the foresight to buy them, and you all said to only buy 4 since you all have like the absorb elements and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think Jasper's got that as well. Or like protection from energy or something like that. Protection from energy lasts for up to 1 hour. Sweet. Which one is it that you have, Michael?
Do what now?
Which one is it that you have?
I have Cure Wounds and Absorb Elements, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
All right, so only 2 people took them, so I have now. David now has 2 potions of fire resistance in his inventory.
Nice.
Or should I give one to the dwarf too?
Dwarf, do you need any?
Oh, I guess I'll be all right. He's like looking around nervously.
I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Sorry.
his name's Hugh. It's okay.
You? Okay.
Alright, Ren, you're first, so we're following after you.
Keeping up pace with the line.
Conga line of doom.
So, Run leads the way with a 18 investigation. Traps, tracks. Anything possibly arcane?
Well, you're not seeing any traps. The ground is littered with the signs of in all directions of little kobold feet, though.
Hmm.
No
I
signs
let
of
the-
magic.
Alright, I do let them know what I see as far as the cobalt tracks go. So that way they will
Dovit and Nerdon, are you guys coming?
Yeah, I was waiting for Dovit to move forward.
Sorry, I have my kid. Trying to rock him to sleep.
That's cool.
would Run see these two?
Oh yeah, and they are looking in your direction. They don't see you run, but Jasper and Asteria are making a lot of noise, which have drawn their attentions. And the one over here takes a step forward onto the bridge and shouts, "Fire!" And immediately is hurling what appears to be appears to be
That's when I say, hey, that's
a
my line.
dagger at you. Oh, hold on. 1 second. Oh, that's a little out of cuts. Okay, I'll be throwing a dagger at you. Which clatters. And turn order.
No. Oh well, they can't see me.
Yeah, you're invisible.
Alright, time to roll for initiative. Yay.
Fucking kobolds are gonna take our fucking spell slots. I'm not happy about this.
Hey, 16. Alright.
And they're done.
Not the best order, but hey, I'm at least not last. I don't think.
Get an advantage. Good advantage. Did that not roll that at advantage?
Oh yeah, you don't get advantage on initiative.
Yes, he does.
He does?
Because of his Great Ambusher.
Oh. Yeah,
Who's
then
the type of rogue
I
that
guess
he
he
is?
just rolls it again and sees if he gets higher.
Who's
Yeah.
that?
And he did.
All right, type it in and I'll put your thing down.
I had already put it on there.
Okay. All right, Erden's first then. Wherever he's over there.
Yeah. These 5-foot squares or
Yeah, okay. Sure.
let's move up the rest of the
Easily.
way and
But
target this one.
do that, then I am gonna have to lose concentration and become invisible. Decisions. Kobolds are immune to fire, aren't they?
No.
Interesting.
Which one are you shooting?
The one that
front
stepped
one.
forward on the bridge.
Right. So that one's enough to kill it. That one immediately goes down.
Then I'll
Can you see the other one?
I don't know. Maybe.
are we too low to see it, like the height difference?
Can you see it? Can you actually see the token from where where you're standing?
Yeah.
Yeah, then that one can be hit too, and that one also goes down. Okay, turn it over.
I could stay invisible.
Those things are
Run will remain hidden.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, if I have to do anything, I'm gonna have to lose invisibility because it's a concentration for 1 hour.
And that's why he didn't use invisibility.
Yeah, I wish I had something that would give me better stealth, but yeah.
So he will lead the way. He points out the stairs to the left here.
There's stairs going up.
He says, "Oh, that was our the living chambers and everything. That's where my fellow dwarves, I think, lost their lives. There might be something useful on their bodies to loot, but it's not the direction of the dragon."
He nods and he continues on.
But I don't know. He's having a hard time moving his token, so I'm just gonna keep you up. Don's in the back. I was.
Yeah, he can move up around me.
Yeah.
He will continue his investigation.
Alright, nothing under there.
Tempted to go up there and see if there's anything worthwhile, but nah.
I will just
No,
say 'cause
run!
the-
That's you're underneath the bridge. You're not up there.
Oh. Well, he could be. I mean, he does have his slippers.
Does he want to go up there?
No.
It wasn't there. Could we have just gone on that bridge?
Maybe.
Because it almost looks like we're taking the long way around, but I can't quite tell.
Then we would have to jump down onto the tracks.
Oh well. Too late now. More fun this way, I guess.
Investigation.
You notice a tripwire here.
All right.
Yay!
He holds up his hand, his little hand, and he pulls out his little thief's tools. With a
Good.
16.
So
Alright.
say, please don't be low.
You managed
please
to
don't be
anchor
low.
the tripwire and stop it from doing anything.
All right. With a 20, could he tell what the trap was?
It looks like it was a double-folded trap. One that would simultaneously smack you with some kind of piercing claw, and it looked like once that moved, a large boulder would drop onto the tracks.
Nice.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't do that, or we would be Indiana Jonesing it.
Yep.
I think I've heard of that adventure.
Oh, I tell you what, it is a great traveling play.
It sounds like it.
uh, uh, Perhaps I should, Mr. Dwarf, is this the way to the dragon?
As I said, I imagined that it is down below. These were some of our mining tunnels.
I don't think that a dragon is going to fit through that passageway. Run.
Okay, let me rephrase. Do we just jump down the hole, or is there a pathway to get to the lower levels?
Oh, yes, you can follow the train, the tracks all the way down.
He walks over to the edge and looks down.
All right. See what you see directly underneath there. You look down, down, down. Eventually, you see what you think is water, along with more train tracks. You also see what appears to be some small figures moving, which you can't really make them out from there.
Well, I would say that it is a long walk. I do see some figures down there. I would imagine that there are possibly more kobolds. He whispers, and then he turns and looks down the corridor here, seeing something move in the distance there.
Oh, if it's a long walk, I suggest we probably go forward and just get it over with.
Yes, most definitely.
So we have magic means of getting down any faster. Gone.
Well, I could always fly down.
But we would all have to be able to.
Yeah, I mean, I have Featherfall, but that's not going to help everybody else.
I also have
Well,
Featherfall, and Jasper
Oh,
will
there you go.
speak up. I can turn into a giant bird and ferry everyone down.
We've got the broom, so.
True.
I'll really
It'll
only
just
have
be
to take.
Dovit and Hugh.
Yeah, I'll only have to take them. Take both of them at once.
well, I could always have Floof carry someone.
How far down is it, I wonder? Oh, I can actually target up to 5 falling creatures within range.
Featherfall?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah. I had no idea until I looked at it.
So.
Well,
Who votes walk it? Who votes fast way? Fast and more dangerous way.
Fast and loose.
well, run. You can fly. Jasper can fly. You can get Asteria, Dovit, and Hugh, and Erdon can fly. So yeah, if you could just get the three of us and yourself, then we could all get down.
I can fly like an eagle.
But how far
To the
down do you think it
dragon.
is?
Riz, how far would Run reckon it would be?
Let's see. I believe it is 250 feet.
Whoa, that's all, let's see. A falling creature's rate of descent slows to 60 feet per round until the spell ends. If the creature lands before the spell ends, it takes no falling damage and can land on its feet, and the spell ends for that creature. Let's
How
see.
long does it last?
Casting time.
No, not casting time. Duration.
Yeah. Duration. Oh, duration 1 minute. So yeah, no, we would be have a feeling that would end before we reach the bottom.
Well, no, it's
Well, you
Actually,
fall
no,
like what?
'cause-
How many feet do you fall before you hit?
60 feet per round. So
And 60 feet,
And
that's 6
there's-
seconds. So
yeah,
And so there's 10 rounds in a minute.
that's
we would be able to
true.
get to the bottom safely.
Yeah, that's true. We could do that. Why not? Alrighty then.
Vote yay on fast then.
Alright. Let's do it.
all right. So here's what we're gonna do with this plan of yours. I am going to throw you guys all into turn order.
So we need to roll for initiative.
And I'm going to set things up on the GM layer, which you can't currently see.
Bad.
Run can also run down the wall.
The
as
one
well.
time you get a fucking natural 20
there's-
for initiative.
Run,
Right?
run. There's no actual wall. You're on a strip. You're on a small strip, which if you were actually able to go over the side and look underneath of it, you've noticed that there's a big gap leading to other places where there are currently other things there. So you can't. There's no like straight down from here. You're on an overhang that's
Gotcha.
intersecting several other overhangs.
Why couldn't I
Alright,
You
get
just
a
happen to
nat
see
20?
straight down, but there's no wall there to support you running straight down.
Why couldn't I have gotten a
He
nat 20
will-
on a different, like a one that actually mattered?
Oh, actually, Run cannot cast fly because he does not have that spell.
Featherfall.
Yeah, that'll be the 5th person for Featherfall, and then Erdon and Jasper can get themselves down.
Actually, I
Use
could
the
always bring.
Featherfall!
Okay, I'll use a Featherfall.
As
They're
I
already
said,
gonna be cast anyway.
As I said, give me a minute to set up the things on GM layer.
Alright. I just really hope this doesn't lead to anybody falling to their doom.
We shall see.
Oh, I don't like how that sounds. That's why at first I was like, 200 feet, I don't know about this.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I have to spread things up over several maps. Well, one map is just several huge sections.
Yeah, no worries. You didn't expect us to just all of a sudden throw ourselves over the edge and
Yeah.
try to float down.
I was just gonna walk it,
throwing
but-
ourselves into our job.
Right?
Hey, Grizz, while you're getting stuff set up, can you add a giant owl token onto my wild
well,
shapes?
I'll try to in a little bit, but it said right now I'm trying to get
Yeah,
all this set up, so that means I can't focus on what you're asking me to do at the moment. ADHD, I get distracted and I
wasn't
immediately
asking you to do
forget.
it right now.
No. I mean, asking me at all, even if it's not right now, it makes it difficult for me to think. Sorry, that's why I was trying to say.
Giggity.
Okay, finally done with that. And I only messed up once. Phew.
Ah,
Alright. Now, whatever you need to ask me, you can ask. Sorry, like I said, my ADHD, when I am trying to hyper-focus on something, anything time that something's asked, I completely lose my place and it throws everything off. It's very difficult.
I just needed an owlbear token. Or not an owlbear, but
owlbear?
a giant owl.
Ow, okay.
Yeah, apparently druids can turn into owlbears now.
Well, we're not getting into that right now. Dude, all my fucking D&D groups on Facebook have been full of that stupid shit, and I'm like, just shut up.
Did you say giant
I
owl?
know.
Yeah.
Giant owl, okay. Well, this will show up in under companions rather than wild shape. That way you and Run will technically share the token. He using it for for a companion shape, and you for a wild shape. I just don't want to have to add too many extra tokens just for that. All right. So because of the potential enemies, I grouped them all into specifics that until you see them, I am the one that knows when they go. So instead of individual things, it's all grouped by particular type. So you said you're all jumping down using Featherfall?
Hugh, Dovit, Michael, Asteria, and Run are going down with Featherfall. Dawn's going down on the broom. Jasper's going down as a giant owl.
Okay. So bring out your giant owl, and I will keep Jasper over there.
Tried to. There we go.
Okay.
yay! We're all gonna die. I mean, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna live.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't got to the dragon yet. That's where I'm really worried that we might die.
Well, unless we all go splat.
That's why we have Featherfall.
True, true.
I mean, technically, we wouldn't really go splat. We might go splash.
Well, that's
Unless
true.
the water is shallow.
Well, actually, there's a big rail thing between the water. The water's on the other side of it, so it's possible you'd fall on there, and you don't know how potentially shallow that water is.
But that's what I was just saying. Unless it's
Wait,
pretty
is
shallow.
it Jasper or Asteria who turned into the owl?
Jasper. Jerry can't turn into things.
I was just making sure.
He's just a little bard. Well, she can turn into things with polymorph, but that's a spell I don't have access to right now because I used all my spell slots for Death Ward.
Okay, so we're going down 60 feet. Which would put you at 100, which would put everyone at 190.
We were all falling.
I'm going to move you together to make it easier on myself.
No worries.
And I'll let you know when you can actually do something because there's a bunch of there's invisible things and some of them might have things ahead of you. So.
Sure.
I might roll initiative for Jasper.
You did. It's just invisible at the moment because I had to put her on the GM layer due to the giant owl.
Gotcha.
So you guys are descending to 190 feet. You look below you, 90 feet down, and you see kobolds milling. Not exactly milling about. Some of them are looking surprised as they're looking up. Most of them are looking towards the far off. They're looking over towards this direction, as if they were expecting to see you coming this way. And so some of them over here are kind of caught off guard that they're now seeing you there, and they're shouting alarm. They're shouting an alarm. Well, they will be on their turn anyway. Oops. Oh, hold on. Yeah, 190 is what I wanted.
Just continuing to fall.
Are any of you able to do anything while falling? Or is it just the people who are technically flying at the moment?
And I can do attacks. Dawn can do his attacks on the broom. I think we can all still do our shit. Or like
All right.
attacks go.
Asteria, you're up first.
Just kind of like lazily floating down. I'll just hold my turn, so if like any of the kobolds attack, then she'll retaliate.
Yeah, so you see them 90 feet below you. Michael, you're up next.
Well, since I'm technically still invisible, I'm just gonna, just keep on floating down.
Okay.
Not invisible anymore, I don't think, because you cast a spell.
Oh, that's right.
Alright. I'll take that invisibility off of you then.
True, because that does take concentration.
Yeah, please don't cast any more concentration spells right now.
Yeah, don't need to do that.
So, the kobolds start yelling in alarm, going, "Intruders are coming!" And, let's see, did they have any... Well, they're mostly yelling in Draconic, actually. Any of you speak Draconic?
I do.
So that you're definitely hearing intruders are coming. Let's see. So, there's a whole bunch of them that might be able to reach you.
Can
I
I
speak
try to
Draconic as
talk
well.
to them?
You would have been able to on your turn.
Oh, okay. Dang it, I wish I would have heard them when it was my turn.
They were surprised that you were coming down this way. They were expecting to see you coming they were expecting to see you coming this direction. So, you cut them off guard, which means they didn't say anything until their turn.
Darn. Although I held my turn though, but no, that's true.
No, you said you were just falling, or we're gonna do something if they attacked. Well, that was Asteria. Asteria said she was gonna attack back if they attacked.
True.
You just basically said you were gonna fall. So
Yeah,
let's see here.
that's true. We'll try it. I should have said I'm gonna hold my turn for the moment.
This one uses a sling and aims their weapon at Asteria.
That misses, but she will retaliate with, let's see, what do I fucking have to retaliate with?
Do you have a
flame
bow?
does damage, right?
What?
Looking at my spells, hang on.
You can't. You had to declare if you were holding a spell.
I was just okay. That's why I said I was holding my turn.
You can't hold a turn in 5th edition. You can only hold your attack action or prep a spell to go off at before.
Well, I know
your
I
next
can't
turn.
hold my full turn. Like I meant that I was holding my action for if they attacked, but I didn't know that I had to specify like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm holding a spell, even though that's kind of what I do.
Unfortunately, you have to specify if you're holding a spell.
Well, I don't fucking have anything else, so I guess I just wasted that. So cool.
Sorry. All right. Let's see. That kobold's there. Another kobold is also aiming at you, Asteria. Also misses. The kobold's over here. Oh, right. Yeah, they're aiming at Urdon. But if they miss, they have a 50% chance of hit and run, who is in the same path.
Boy.
Or potentially hitting run, or bouncing off
I have a quick
his...
question.
Yeah?
Since we're slow falling, would Run still be able to stealth?
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe he's hidden behind the eagle then. I thought he was. That's right. He's the one that's stealth, not invisible. That's right. His stealth would have gone away as soon as you started falling. Never mind. So this is aimed at you, Run. I rolled a 3 on the 1, 2, 3 around there.
That hits.
All right. Two more, I think, are also aiming at you. volleys of rocks coming there, and you hear two other kobolds just yelling and shouting, saying, "They're over here! They're falling through the air very slowly!" And Draconic.
And two of them do hit. So that would be a 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right. Next
9,
up,
10,
we
11.
have Jasper the eagle, the
13.
the owl.
I'm just gonna fly over here, grab this one, and pick it up. Look, the one that I'm hovering over.
How many feet can you move?
An outrageous fucking amount.
How many feet can you move?
60.
60? They are, as I said, they are 90 feet below you. Oh, wait, then they couldn't have been able to hit. What am I saying? Oh, no, wait. Reverse that damage. The only reason they were aiming at Asteria and Michael is because they could hit them from 60 feet. Wait, hold on. 1 second.
No.
Oh, sorry. The sling was 120. Never mind. They did still hit you. They are, as I said, 90 feet below you.
And I won't do anything for Jasper either.
So, you can only move up to 60 feet. You said, as you said. So you won't be able to get to them.
I'll just keep flying down.
That's the reason we're taking really good track of the numbers, because they're in very different positions.
It's fine. I'll just keep flying down. I'll just fly my full movement down.
Erden.
As we are falling, I'll take a shot at this one first.
All right.
This one second. That one last.
Okay. All right, that one's dead. Yeah, you killed all three of them.
And that'll be the rest of my turn. I'll just fly, keep going down with the rest of the party. Just
So
kinda
you're going
pacing
60
with
feet. You're keeping pace with 60 feet down. Yes.
I'm just keeping pace with the rest of the people who are
Alright.
slow falling, and then that'll be my turn.
Do it. Anything you can do?
Let's see how far I can see these two over here. These two are still alive, right?
Oh yeah, and they are 90 feet below. Actually, sorry, that's 125 feet over there. So that is you're 190 feet. 190 feet. They're at 125. So 50, that's like 165 feet. 175 feet, something like that.
Okay, I'm just gonna go down as far as I can,
All right.
and
So
then
now you're 5 feet above and however many feet away. So that's 40 feet from them.
all right. Do I still have an action?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to throw a javelin at one.
All right.
All right. Natural 20.
All right, that hits. Which one are you aiming at?
This one.
Okay.
All right, let me see what the damage is. It is 1d6 plus 5, so
Yeah, that's dead. That thing only has 5 hit points.
yeah, I rolled a 6 on the d6.
So the minimum amount of damage that you did to one of those is enough to kill it.
All right, since I'm throwing javelins, does it still count for my extra attack, or does that only for like melee range?
Do you have an extra javelin?
Yes.
Yeah, you can use your free action to draw your second javelin and and use your extra attack to throw it.
That will leave me with 2 javelins left.
All right. Tossing it this one over here.
Yeah, the one that was right next to it. That's
Alright.
that is a 14 to hit.
Yep, and that one's dead too. Since, as I said, your minimum damage is enough to kill it.
Right.
A lot of these guys are squishy, but a whole bunch of them together, aiming their slings, can be devastating. So, all right, that's it for Dovit. Another stronger-looking kobold steps around a corner and peers out at you guys, looking a little bit angry.
So much for trying to talk to them.
You see magic appearing in this thing's hands, and then immediately launches a scorching ray out at Dovit.
Huh?
3 lances of fire come shooting out of its fingers. 2 of them smack right into you.
Okay, so that's 18 damage.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my next turn I'm drinking my potion of fire.
Don't. We're gonna need that for the dragon, and if we don't get to it in an hour, then it's gonna be wasted.
Okay.
And even as you guys are standing, seeing that there's a kobold practicing magic, you hear a fluttering of wings coming from the caverns around you. And winged kobolds start flying out. There's the thing. Thankfully for you, they are not aimed. They do not have much in the way of missile weapons. They have daggers and rocks. So they seem to be flying out, and seeing you guys fly, it's like you're not quite close enough to damage quite yet. So you're lucky with that one. Run.
Okay, so where is this magic coming from?
It came from one that's now being flanked, but it's now being half hidden behind 2 flying kobolds. All the way over here, but you can't really see it, Pat. You could barely make it out, Pat. Well, actually, no, the eagle is lower than you. You're 90 feet, you're 65 feet up and 45 feet away from that thing.
Okay. Now, here's the fun part.
So much math in this game.
Light crossbow, range 80 to 320.
Yeah, it's past the 80-foot mark, but it's within the 320 mark.
I'll be right back.
So that'd be what? Disadvantage?
I believe so.
Okay. I am going to use an icy bolt, which also has a 5-foot radius of explosion of AC. So let's take off the sneak attack. And boom. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Miss. The arrow seems to just explode somewhere in the air. hurting nothing. And I just realized I don't have Hugh on the initiative order. I thought I did. I don't see him there.
And unfortunately, that's all I can do because I cannot hide. I'm slow falling, so I cannot dash.
All right. Okay. Do any of them want to get involved over here? Nope. Asteria.
Just
As
wanna
you're
keep
getting
slow
closer,
falling.
you're slow falling. You're 30 feet away. But by the end of this turn, you will be probably underneath the slip here, since this is at 100 feet. This over here is at 75, so you'll be lower than this level where a bunch of these kobolds just suddenly surged out from. After that, currently you are 30 feet above them. What would you like to do?
I've said I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna keep falling.
Okay. So, let's see, 60 feet.
I'm back.
No, okay, that's up to we're up to 70 feet then. So that's underneath the. Actually, 70 feet. That's even under here. That means you will get to start seeing over here then.
So how far down are we?
Trying to line up exactly where that is. You're over there. Michael, you're falling fast. You're gonna fall past that lip and get down past that one by the end of your turn. Do you do anything?
Well, if we didn't start attacking them and they didn't start attacking us, I was gonna try to talk to them as fast as I could to negotiate with them, but since all that's happening, well, they haven't hit me yet, so I'm just gonna hold my turn, and
If you're holding a spell, say what spell
yeah,
you're holding.
um, what spell shall I hold?
And just remember, you lose the spell if you don't cast it after that, because you use up the spell slot to hold the spell.
Gotcha. Well, I will use one of my cantrips. That way I
Okay.
don't have to worry about a spell slot. So, Firebolt.
And you're not casting it right away?
No, I'll hold it for now.
Okay. Yeah, as voices echo throughout the cavern, you hear a bit of a roar coming from. For the majority of you, it's well below you. For Asteria, it is a bit to the south. As the dragon does not seem to be particularly happy about this invasion and all the kobolds yelling up above.
Yay. Dragon's not happy.
Yeah, give me a second. Trying to line something up. $80 feet. Okay, yeah, I think you can get about there. Alright. Kobolds. The kobolds are just running around crazy. Jasper.
Just flying down.
Alright. Oh, right. Forgot to move him too. 1 second. Alright. Erdan.
Can everybody else get past the lip? He'll just take his full movement down, following him. Especially after hearing the roars down below.
So that's falling. Divot. Divot.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Um. All right. So if I were to aim my breath weapon right here, it would just hit that one in the middle, right?
What's your breath weapon again?
Acid.
What's the stats on acid?
It says it's a 5 by 30 foot line dealing acid damage.
How far? It's yeah. I guess you. You're falling 5. It has to be directly in front of you, though, doesn't it? What's the range on it?
It's a 5 by 30 foot line.
Can you post the stats on that? Maybe I'm not hearing you properly. Okay. So, yeah, you can only hit one of them.
All right, and I want to hit the fucker that hit me with the scorching range, but I think I'm too far away.
Oh, yeah, that one's all the way over there. You won't be able to hit it.
Yeah, so I'll hit one of. I'll aim at this one.
Which one?
On this.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. All right, so it's each creature must make a Dex saving throw. It's 8 plus my con modifier plus my proficiency bonus. All right, so 8 plus 3. Where's my proficiency bonus at? 4. So 8 plus 3 plus 4. Need a Dex of 15.
Okay. Yeah. That hits. How much damage?
All right. So it is a creature takes 2d6 damage on a failed save and half as much on a successful one. Creatures a 3d6 at 6th level. So I'm rolling 3d6. 3, 7, 13 damage.
Yeah, that's enough to kill that one. And you continue to drop.
Yes. And then I'm going to go into a rage.
Yeah, there are kobolds scrambling down below you.
After going into a rage, my turn will be over. After I drop it, as I can, of course. And I can't see a thing.
That's because you guys got moved. Let's see. Skilled sorcerers. 30 feet.
What is this? Why does it sound like sirens outside? But I don't see any. Okay, well, that's weird. Oh. Go figure.
Alright, so there are 2 sorcerers down below. Let's see you guys coming. Let's see, who are they aiming for?
Range, I'll use my firebolt.
How far away can your firebolt hit?
120 feet.
And you can definitely hit them because they're aiming towards Dovid. There's also 3 kobolds underneath you, but I guess you're looking at the skilled sorcerers. Which one are you aiming for?
Well, actually, all I see is a black square, so I'm not anywhere where I can see anything at the moment. So yeah,
There's no light over here for you?
no.
All right, then you've dropped into darkness.
Great.
Because the rest of the rest of the upper caverns are much more nicely lit. Down here is not.
Okay, well, I guess I can't do anything until my next turn,
All right.
unless I can change and use light. But that's about all I could
Yeah,
do.
you already called your firebolt, sadly.
Yeah, I didn't know that we were gonna get into a dark area. Otherwise, I was, that's why I was kind of
That's
like,
the
"Oh,
problem
what?"
with characters with dark vision, being the ones to look and check on the area.
Yeah, if I'd known we were gonna get into this area, I would have used dark vision instead. But
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So the first skilled sorcerer is sending scorching rays towards Dovid.
Sorry, Dovit.
Any that hit?
They all hit.
All right.
So 7, 9, 15 damage.
And the next one also aims at you.
The first 2 hit.
All right. They
So
seem to
15.
have it in for the Dragonborn.
Maybe I should have drank my potion.
All right. So
So it's 15 plus 18 damage.
let's see.
It's 33 damage.
Let's see. 3 flying kobolds come out. They drop rocks. And the first one will be Michael, second one will be David, third will be Hugh.
Wait, what now?
You just got hit with a dropped rock, Michael, as it crashes into your head from above.
It missed me.
Okay.
And it hit Hugh.
Is there anything that I can do to dodge it?
No, because it's meet your AC.
If it hit him, are we in danger of just falling
Uh,
for concentration?
ooh,
well,
that's
it's not a
right.
Well, actually, Featherfall is not a concentration.
Okay,
Oh,
so
is
you don't
it?
have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
reaction, so we don't have to worry about that. The only one that was a concentration was invisibility.
Okay. I thought by the way you were talking earlier, it was concentration. I was like, oh shit.
No, that was just for invisibility. Because what is it? Spell ends if the target attacks or casts a spell. So that's why I was like, oh well, invisibility is gone because I casted another spell. Thankfully, Featherfall is a reaction, so everybody jumping, we all would immediately just get Featherfall.
Um,
Can I
Run.
see,
You're up.
can I see those two people since I'm technically raging?
What?
I don't think I can see them, can I?
Wait, what were you asking me?
I was gonna say I have my reaction to for the ancestral protect. No, it was for the spirit shield.
All right, can I see the text on that?
Yes, but I have to be able to see them, so I don't know if I can see them or not. Are they
Oh,
like
that's
right?
right. You don't have dark vision, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so you kind of dropped into darkness, and all of a sudden you're hearing "ow" coming from Michael and "oof" coming from the dwarf.
So did I take any damage? I should ask.
Yeah, you took 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, because
So
I
it's
didn't hear that part.
Yeah, 20. I said first one was going at you, and then there a bunch of dropped rocks. So it was 24, 11, and 19. So 24 was at you, Michael. 11 was at Dovit, which missed, and the 19 was at my guy.
So 8 points of damage. All right.
Yes. Run. What would you like to do?
Turn invisible.
All right. Boop.
So back at 54 health. Great. Just great.
Ain't a whole lot he could really do. So, I will pick what's going to last the longest.
All right. Asteria.
Let's repeat, just falling.
All right. You will hit the ground next turn. All right. Next up, Michael.
So since I took damage, and I'm at 50, what did I say, 54 points of health again, I'm going to use Cure Wounds. Because might as well, so I can at least be hopefully a little ready to take on whatever's... Actually, no, because I need to be able to see, so... Because I have no idea what's going on around, so I will use Dark Vision instead. Wait, did I do that right?
I'll have to put it on your token.
Okay. What shall I use for dark vision? Edge crack, interdiction, half haze. Should I use like blue dot for dark vision?
I use blue dot for magic eyes.
Oh, okay.
Green dot would go good for bright vision.
Okay. Then
And you
green
can
dot.
see the kobold scrambling underneath where your other companions are falling onto the bridge, and the two sorcery kobolds over here,
Okay.
as well as little shapes moving in the water below you.
Yay. I guess that would be. Well, it didn't give me an option of what spell slot to use, so. Interesting. I guess it'd be a spell slot 2 since that's level 2 is where I have it at. Alright, I'll just do that. Well, I can't really do anything else, can I?
Doesn't look like it.
Alright, I'll just end my turn. At least I can see now. Well, it's still black to me. I still only see darkness, but at least my character supposedly can see.
There you go. Alright. The kobolds underneath of you guys are all scrambling away. Jasper.
Going down.
Alright, that means since you're on the bridge, you land safely on the bridge. Erdan.
Uh, how high up am I?
70 feet.
Okay. I'll just take my first shot at the one on the tracks here, closer to us.
Okay.
It's still up.
Yep. Yeah, these guys are much tougher than those other kobolds you faced.
Okay. I'll just take my second shot at it then, and
It's still up even with 2 arrows in it.
I'll just stay hovering where I am for now, and let the rest of them kind of land safely, but stay up here and end my turn.
I don't think you can.
Are you moving down at all, or are you staying at 70 feet up?
Can't stay at 70 feet up. He would be falling. He can't. It's
I'm
not like
flying.
flyer level. Oh yeah, you're on the broom. Never mind.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I was asking
He's not
that.
like us.
I'll come
He's
down.
on the broom.
Yep.
Come down to about 40 feet up and just stay about there.
All right. Hugh lands on the bridge.
Where did I land?
You haven't yet. The bridge is 10 feet higher up than the water, and you're splashing down towards the water.
Oh, goody. I can't do a swimming motion and try to get onto land or anything, can I?
No.
Darn.
Divot.
Of course, I can still move.
You also land on the bridge, Divot. Like you feel ground under you all of a sudden.
You said I landed on the bridge?
Yeah, and you seem to have landed on the on a solid surface that sounds like a bridge because there's like wood and whatnot not underneath your feet.
I'm gonna light a torch.
All right, you use your action to light a torch.
And then I'm going to drink one of my 2 potions of fire resistance.
Is torch 10 feet or 20 feet?
I'll have to look that up. Torch. But 20
20
foot.
feet. All right. There you go. You should be able to see around yourself now.
Yes. And then can I punch myself in the arm to keep my rage up?
Sure. Take 1 point of damage. Well, actually, no. You don't even need to do that. Sorry. Don't take the point. Well, no. Yeah, you don't need to do that because you already got hit this turn. So your rage still be sustained from getting hit.
Okay.
Speaking of getting hit, let's see.
Alright, so I now have fire resistance, so I don't think I'm in as much danger as I was.
Wait, why do you have fire resistance?
I said I was drinking one of my potions of fire resistance.
That's right. You said that earlier. Never mind. So thinking of your bonus action and your free action. Yeah, so you used one to use a torch and another to drink a potion. Got it. So Kobold Scale Sorcerer will aim again at Dovit. This time Firebolt and misses.
That's a miss.
The other one is aiming at Michael and also firing off a firebolt. And misses.
That's okay. I'll show him how it's done.
The main kobold's going to be busy up there and not coming down. Run!
Ron is going to maintain his invisibility.
Okay. And
He
you
needs
are...
to
You have 10 more...
conserve his,
Yeah, and you have 10 more feet to go as you're heading right down towards the water.
Okay, so the only things to make invisibility go away is attack or cast a spell, correct?
Yes.
Alright, he's going to drink his potion of fire resistance.
Alright.
Especially hearing Mama D calling out.
Mm-hmm. Asteria. You get down to the water.
Float on down and then ash the 5th level cure wounds on Dovit.
Don't you have to be touching him?
I not reach him from where I'm at. I'm 5 feet away from him.
You're 10 feet down from him.
I was
yeah,
going
you're
to
in the
float
water.
down and because I'm not on the tracks.
Yeah, several of you guys landed on the tracks, which is 10 feet higher than the water. You're right next to... You're almost right... Well, Michael's 10 feet above you.
And skip my turn again.
Michael, you float 10 feet down.
Okay, well... Let's see... Anybody too close to the two that are here? Right here. Anybody too close to these two?
Yeah, this one is much harder to see from where you're at because it's up above on the tracks. This one you can see clearly.
Okay.
But yeah, there doesn't seem to be any of your companions anywhere near them, or anything else for that matter.
Well, then I probably wouldn't hit it if it's too high up. Anyway, I don't think. Let me look.
A quick question. I couldn't have touched him as I passed before I was on the bottom.
Oh, I guess you can do that. Because I've never dealt with people using Featherfall as a group to get someplace.
There you go, David. You get 38 points of healing back.
It adds to movability issues.
Thank you, Asteria.
I could use Fireball. It attacks within a 20-foot radius. But I don't let's see. Let me make sure that nobody else is within the 20-foot radius, because I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 30, 20. Ooh, that's
Maybe if you aimed for it to be like right here.
true. True. I could aim. Yeah, like kind of like right there, or right there.
Because
Yeah.
that's the center. It will only come up to like right here, I think.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll aim a fireball at hit those two. Oh, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, I wonder. Well, we'll find out. So I'll do that at. Let's see. I've got 3 slots left at level 3. 2 at 4. I'm gonna hold the 4 level 4 slots for when we go to the dragon. So I'll use one more level 3 slot and cast fireball.
All right. That'd be enough to kill that one. And the other one is still standing.
Stupid kobold.
Anything else, Michael?
Not much else I could do, so yep, that'll do it.
All right. Well, time for the dragon.
Yeah, saw
Dragon.
that around the corner.
Yeah. Climbs up onto the bridge and just stares at all of you. She does not look happy.
Hey, wait, I wonder if I think the fireball might have actually would have hit her too, wouldn't it?
No, not. No, she was on the other side of the bridge.
Okay, it wasn't close enough. All right.
And secondly, we are talking a red dragon. Fireball.
Well, true. Immune.
Fire immune. So that it wouldn't have done anything to her.
True.
Even if it had hit her. So she comes around the corner. She does not look happy. And you could probably guess what's coming next. There's a mighty inhale.
Can you add my initiative back on so I can see when I'm coming up, and I'll still just be the giant owl?
All right. I guess I can since Jasper's on another map, I can put her off. Take her off the GM layer for ease of use. All right. And breeze fire at all of you, which should, since it's a 30-foot cone, hit everybody.
Yay. Well, I do still have absorb elements, so
Is there
I don't have it as an owl.
is there a save that we have to make?
Yeah, dexterity saving throw of 17.
Would it hit her, Don, where he's still about 40 feet up?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Ardon would be the only one that wouldn't get hit with that.
Okay.
Because he is flying.
I rolled a 19.
Alright, that means you take half damage.
so would absorb elements still work or no?
It should, you have a reaction.
True. Alright,
Alright,
I
what-
will. I'm gonna use my level 2 slot.
49 damage if you failed.
What's the DC again?
DC is 17.
So I would divide it by 4 then, right?
What?
Since I have fire resistance, since I take half damage of 49, and then I take half of that.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right.
So half of that would be 24.
All right, so I take 12 damage.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ren takes 12 damage.
4. And owl
That's a
form.
5.
Owl.
2, 3,
So
4, 5, 6, 7,
how
8.
does that work exactly if I got a 5?
Ouch.
Let's see. Spell captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effect. Restoring it for next melee attack. Oh. You have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. Also, the first time you hit with melee attack, okay, the target takes an extra 1d6. At higher level, when you cast this spell using a spell slot of second level or higher, the extra damage increases 1d6. So I just hold the energy? Or what does that do exactly? If I'm reading that correctly, is that what it's...
Bonus action. Whereas you can delete the giant owl token. I took enough damage to knock me out of it.
Alright.
So there's what it says. Trying to see if I understand it correctly.
So the target takes an extra 1d6 of the triggering type, which means that's kind of useless against the dragon, since the dragon is fire.
Right, so I don't take any damage? Is that basically what it's meaning?
Nope, it takes only some of the incoming damage. What the amount that you rolled, which I believe is an 8. You absorb 8 points of damage.
So I still take 41 damage. Nice.
Yep. Well,
Ah, yay. Calculator. I don't feel like trying to do math in my head at the moment. So 54 minus 41. Yeah, I'm not doing
the
so
kobolds
good.
run away.
I'm at 13 health. That's nice.
Michael, what are you talking about? How much damage are you gonna take?
41. I absorbed 8.
No, you gain resistance to the damage type, so you would take half.
Oh.
Okay, well then that's
It says you have
Before.
resistance until the start of next turn. Okay, so yeah,
half damage. Okay.
I didn't read that.
That's why I was saying I need a little bit of help with understanding how that's working exactly, because I missed that part. So it's half damage.
You take half damage, and then with your next melee attack, you would deal an extra 1d6 of the triggering type, but that doesn't matter.
Well,
It's a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Useful if you hit something else, though.
yeah, so I could still go after that other kobold and whack him with that and kill him.
I just heard like you throwing out big numbers there, and I'm like, wait, how the fuck are you taking that much damage?
Well, yeah, that's what Gers was saying was I only absorbed 8, so that's why I was like, well, then if it's 8 minus 49,
Oh
that's
no,
41
I see.
damage.
Oh, I see. That's the damage that's done to your target next time around. That's what those numbers mean. That's why that spell confuses me whenever I see it rolling like that, because that roll isn't for till next time when you're hitting something. So yeah,
Right.
you take half due to resistance. So
I
it
was
means
still
you
wondering
only
where
take
you got the 8
24.
from. That's a d6.
Well,
Yeah, that's why I was like,
the 5
well,
and the
that
3,
doesn't
the
make
way
sense,
the way
but
the way
okay.
that it's sometimes roll 20 can be really stupid on especially late at night on my brain. But yeah.
Anywho,
So you still take 24 points of damage, Michael.
Yep, so that leaves me with 30 health.
Alright.
That's not as bad. Still hurt, but, at least it's not as bad as having 13 health and barely able to walk.
Yeah. You're up, Jasper.
Say, which is probably gonna be really good at.
I lost 5 roll in that one.
It takes the 5 fucking damage, and Michael, you can roll one of your hit dice and apply that to your healing. Whatever you roll is plus 5.
9 plus 5. So 14.
There you go. You heal 14.
Yay!
turn.
44 health. Woohoo! Thanks.
Yep, that's why I took that spell.
Anything else? You're done.
Don barely missing the fire. Gonna fly up another 10 feet.
10 feet? Alright.
Out where he is and use my bonus action. I cast Hunter's Mark on the dragon.
Alright.
And then we'll take my 2 shots at the dragon.
Okay, only one of those hits.
Alright, and then do an extra d6 for the one that hits them. That will be my turn.
Alright. It's like Hugh, seeing all this going down, pulls free his battle axe and goes charging at the dragon. It's like, for my brothers! And attacks. Ooh, he actually did a good attack. Do it.
Alright, I'm still raged, right? Because I took that damage.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna kind of like put my torch down and like a little hole on the track so I can keep seeing. And I'm going to charge and make a reckless attack at the dragon. Alright, giving me advantage. Oh my god, I'm glad I have advantage. Holy shit, I shit you not. I literally rolled nat 1 into nat 20.
Nice.
Holy shit. Alright. Alright, so halberd damage. Use 1d10 plus 10. Slashing. That is 6, 12, 22, 26 damage on that first attack.
26?
Yes, 26. I trigger Ancestral Protectors. Starting when you're raging, the first creature you hit with an attack on your turn becomes a target of the warriors, which hinders its attack until the start of your next turn. The target has disadvantage at any attack roll that isn't against you.
Okay.
Alright, extra attack. Wait, brutal critical. Hold on, it's not 26. I get an additional damage dice for the brutal critical. That's an extra 7 damage, so 33.
Alright, additional 7 damage. Got it.
Alright, next attack. Rolling. That is a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Right. Where's my d10? I just had it. Alright, and that is 22 damage.
Alright.
You rolling
Anything
metal
else?
dice?
Huh?
You rolling metal dice?
Yes.
I can hear it.
It's
Yeah.
my hollow metal dice with like the skulls and shit on it.
Very cool.
All right, and that is my turn.
Alright, the remaining skilled sorcerer is going to.
I guess I'm more like right here, aren't I?
Yeah. Is going to once again fire 3 scorching rays at you.
Who?
2 of them hit, and I take, 6 damage?
Yeah, 6 damage altogether with your resistance. Now, with Michael and Asteria in the water, they feel something guiding around their legs. And they are feeling little somethings attempting to bite into them.
Barracuda.
Better known as quippers. 1 second. Trying to find the one that's
Piranha.
so you can actually see them. And the first bite will be to Michael, second bite to Asteria.
Nah. 1 piercing damage.
Yeah. Thankfully, they're not hurting that much, but they are being drawn in by the scent of blood.
Well, with armor class 11, would that even, penetrate?
It wouldn't hit you, but it hits me.
Yeah.
So I just feel the bump into the armor then. It's like, what in the world is that?
Yeah. Now we have Run. Finally down in the water. Feeling a bit crispy from the dragon's breath.
I hope everyone who took a potion of fire resistance has drank it.
Sorry, I forgot I was on mute. So how close is the closest pillar or pylon, whatever, holding the bridge up?
You're right next to it.
Right next to it? Okay, no problem. Okay. So Run is going to drink one of his healing potions. Let's see. Okay.
Off anyway.
Let's see. What is that?
Before you come back, will you grab me a water and a goodies headache better?
What is that? D4, D6 for the potion of healing. Just a second.
D4.
D4.
Which one are you taking?
It's a basic one.
2d4 plus 2.
So I get 6 back.
Oh, it's 2d4.
Oh, I just said D4. Sorry.
2d4 plus 2.
Okay, so let's roll one more. That's 6, 7, 8. Let's see. 8. He is going to stealth as he runs up the pillar and hides underneath the bridge. And that's his turn.
Under the bridge?
Under the bridge.
Okay.
At least this time I got cover.
Asteria.
Guiding bolt.
What are you aiming at?
The dragon.
Okay.
Just doesn't fucking hit.
Yeah.
Alright, so Bardic Inspiration to dove it. And I want to try to get the fuck out of this water. I can get about there with my movement. Yeah, I only have like 35 feet, so I assume it's difficult terrain with the water.
Yeah.
Where to move to?
I can get right there then, and that'll be my turn.
Guess I could move right there.
Michael.
I'm gonna get out of the water because, stuff bumping into me in the water, I don't like it. So I'll go right there. Although, well, let's see, actually. Too late now. I'm not gonna worry about it. I could have moved forward 30 more and tried to do a flanking maneuver, but it's fine. I'll just attack from here. We have this little kobold jerk that's still there. Or what else to do? Yeah, I'm gonna attack the kobold just to get the extra mob out of the way. Extra jerk out of the way. And I'm gonna use Firebolt.
Alright, and that's enough to end that one.
Good. Now he won't attack us anymore.
Anything else?
I can't do anything else really. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Time for the dragon. Dragon is going to attack Duvit.
Very barbs, just to get rid of that natural 20.
Yeah, so that would be 25 damage since you're currently resistant to fire, and that would be 1 point of fire. Then claw.
God damn.
Wow.
Or at least it
Well, at
wasn't
least
the
I got rid
bad.
of one of the natural 20s.
Yeah, at least you got rid of the bad natural 20 versus the not so well. It's still a natural 20, but not as much damage compared to the bite.
Yeah. Good grief.
But yeah, Dovid is getting torn up.
Well, I do have resistance to piercing and bludgeoning with my rage. So
Yes, and resistance to fire, but still, even with those, you're getting hit.
right. So how much am I taking from the bite?
Okay, so from the bite, that'd be 12 damage.
Okay.
From the claw is 9 damage. And the other claw is 4 damage.
Okay, so 12 plus 9 is 21, plus 4 is 25.
Correct.
And then, so 20, okay, 25 damage.
Yep.
All right.
Jasper, you're up.
Well, this worked the first time I did it. Pixies!
Did I just hear pixies?
Yep, conjure woodland beings. Pixies. There's gonna be 8 of them bitches, so let me go ahead and get these out here. God damn it, go away.
Right, you already have access
God, I
to
have
that.
something fucking popping up on my screen that won't go away.
Tiny little destructive creatures.
Yep.
8 of them. And I roll initiative for those, don't I?
Do you?
Hang on. Let me check this.
Like
spell
you
and
did
see
last
if
time.
Yeah, I did last
Yep.
time.
Yeah, they had their own initiative spot at Roast of the King of Feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll initiative for the summon creatures as a group. Each have their own turn. But I think we just agreed that I would just roll initiative for like them as the group, and then they would all act on that one turn.
Exactly.
Because that was a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so their initiative would be 18. They would go like actually immediately after me because they have a +5 to initiative. So yep, and then fucking healing word as a bonus action. Michael looks pretty fucked up. Well, we'll do healing word to him, level 1. Healing, buddy. There you go.
Who are you healing?
Do Michael.
Okay.
Then yep, that'll be my turn.
Thank you. So I get 6 healing.
Yes.
Nice. So I'm back at 50. Woohoo!
Now it's time for the pixies.
Pixies!
You already know what they're gonna do. All
Oh,
of
yeah.
them. Polymorph.
It's
It is now a
polymorphin'
giant
time.
turtle.
We're gonna
What
make
do
it
you...
a regular turtle.
Oh yeah, regular turtle.
Alright.
Yeah. Not giant turtle, regular turtle.
Okay, this
Giant
goddamn
turtles can
dragon
still do a fuck ton of
doesn't have
damage.
the ability to shapeshift, so therefore it is not immune to shapeshifting. All right, so I need the polymorph spell so I know what the DC is.
Your DC is 12.
No, I mean, can you
Yeah.
click the thanks?
It doesn't have the DC at the bottom though for
And did
whatever
you-
reason.
And did you say 12? Because I can barely hear. Thanks.
It's got to make 8 saves.
1, 2. Trying to remember if that's meets or beats. That's towards the defender. So I think.
It breaks it, yeah.
No, that's for the attacker because if you hit the AC of something, it goes down. Which means I believe if you hit the 12 on that thing, that after the second polymorph, it polymorphs and
That's
turns
up
into
to
a
you.
turtle. Yep,
It's a turtle.
it is a very angry turtle.
I like turtles.
And before, yeah, so like, can Jasper just like shout something out real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Don't hurt the fucking turtle. That'll be it.
All right. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well.
I think the plan is to put the turtle in the
Turtle go down the hole.
yeah, put it in the portable hole.
Alright, well, I think that takes us out of initiative since the kobolds up above have no idea what the hell's going on and aren't coming. The several of them fled, and others have died, so. So, what are your actions, guys?
Delvet looks at you and says, "You will that act very impressively, sir."
Yeah, Hugh nods and is staring down at the turtle.
Jasper will just walk over and pick up the turtle very gently.
And Run will
get it to
open up
run.
the hole.
As I said, there's no actual room in the hole since you you have a cannon in there.
Well, there's still some space.
Let me also rephrase on that. Once it turns back into a dragon, that hole is going bye-bye with whatever's inside.
That's fine.
Okay.
At
We'll
least
go
we
out.
won't have a
Want to
dragon.
go out onto the astral plane?
Yep, exactly. I'm just making sure that I was just making sure that that Run was aware of this.
Hey, the cannon was for the dragon anyways.
Actually, Run. Do you want to maybe put it into the bag of holding, and it'll just suffocate?
Yeah, we could do that too.
That way we can keep our portable hole and our cannon.
Yep.
There you go. So just chuck the turtle in the fucking bag of holding.
I think that's the most savage thing anyone's ever done to a dragon.
Just out of curiosity, how low was the dragon?
How low?
Not that low, and if it recovered its flaming breath, it could have immediately, done that again.
Okay.
Now,
Sure, you.
I suggest that we find its lair.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that. It came from this direction, and Jasper will just start walking off down the track where it came from.
Back. Wait for me.
Run shall follow.
That way,
And
and
given
eventually
the
come down.
time, I think that's enough for tonight.
My laptop's
Well,
dying.
was gonna ask Jasper if he